Oh, he
Dylan
said
ain't.
send.
Dylan is gonna be. He's gonna have to show up. We're gonna have to
No,
figure
he
him
said
out.
send the link if you have it.
Oh, is he? Oh, it's a Discord. Tell him to give me his Discord, and I'll add him before we go, and we can add him at the end.
I said, "What's your Discord?" Brady will add you. I don't know how late it is for him because whenever I text Dylan,
I
it's
know
crazy.
if it's different, he just needs to go to bed.
I know. But whenever I text him, his phone's always in silence mode, like do not disturb, and I'm like, am I messing up this dude's sleep schedule?
Yeah, if he needs to sleep for this, just tell him to go to bed.
He
Just
said it's DPOPS, DPAPS.
any numbers.
No, he didn't put any, but there might be.
Feeling better, Chris?
A little bit. I think I just have a cold, but slept. So I feel like
All
a
right.
person.
Well, that's good. Friends. I need to add friend Dpops. Oh, I'm already friends with that user. Cool. Okay, well then tell him I can add him to the call after we're done our conversation if he wants to be up. But tell him to be ready and we'll have to text him.
Are we not coming in now?
No, I gotta do. I mean, we got to do the Super Bowl before we bring in Dylan.
I mean, he could be there for that. Or you got
But
like a segment for him.
well, I don't know. I don't. He says he's only gonna be here for like. He said only like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, but I think it's only like 20, 25 minutes, like from the start of 5 o'clock.
Let me just give him a call. I don't know what he wants me to do here.
I don't know either. I was delegated to be here apparently. I thought he like talked to you guys and like got like a spot for us. I was like, oh, nice.
Yo,
I didn't know you guys were coming on until Brady texted us.
I was gonna say you're gonna be hearing yourself on the live stream in a couple seconds.
I
So,
didn't know that we were coming
all
on
right. So
until
what
I
can you
texted
do?
Brady.
What do you want to do? Matt was
He
just
told me
like,
last night and sent me a screenshot. And I was like, oh yeah. And I never heard it.
all right, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. All right, so how about this? Well, you come in when we're done talking about the game. Are you gonna be up?
Probably not. I was going to call for a couple of days.
All right.
All I need is for Matt to be on.
All right. Yeah, we're having Matt on. You got your wish. Hey, we gotta have you on soon though. All right.
Yeah, we'll
All right, sounds good. I'll see you in the comments then if you're still around.
I'm on for a little bit. Sure.
All right, sounds great, buddy.
This one.
All right, see you. All right, yeah, he just
Well,
wanted you on.
That's crazy.
He just wanted to make sure you were on.
Well, thanks for having me, I guess.
All right.
This was Dylan's master plan all along.
This was a master class by Dylan. I got to email the pictures to myself so I can make a thumbnail. So we won't start the podcast for another minute or so, but absolute chaos with the wise guys today on the that's what the comments say. I wouldn't say chaos. We're just figuring it out.
I'm moving around a lot. I'll wear that one.
Oh, so Chris is chaotic too? Man, I guess we're all over the place. Oh boy. All right. I'm downloading the thumbnail and then I'm ready to go.
What are we doing after the Super Bowl?
Hanging out.
See what happens? All right.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
We want.
We have with the third guest too. We'll figure it out. Matt's got something. He'll get something on his mind. All right.
Here's the bag. I'll the door.
All right, now it looks like
But
we're all
Jamal
settled in.
Charles.
Yeah, Jamal. Good thing
Boy.
good thing it's not Kareem Hunt on your wall. You have to blur him out.
I have a jersey though. Took that out of the closet for the first time in 6 years.
Yeah, for real.
That's tragic. I had to hang up my Pacheco jersey, take down the Kareem Hunt jersey. It felt like
Pacheco never coming back.
it was weird.
All right. I am posting it on my Snapchat and I'm gonna go. You guys good?
Mhm.
All right. Did you put it on the Instagram by any chance, guys?
I'm saving the picture now.
Sweet.
Might accidentally slip up and post your Madden rebuild.
I thought that was so funny. I texted him
So funny.
because he made the first one and it was just Drake May, and I texted him, I was like, anyway, you could put my face on Drake May. He was like, give me 1 sec.
I didn't even notice at first until I saw your brother's response to it. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, that's not Drake May.
So funny. Yeah,
Or
Ethan
was it
said
your
that we could
brother, or
do
was it
it was Ethan.
was
He
it
said he
Ethan?
looked like my Ethan said
Your
he's
cousin,
helping us
yeah.
out that we could do way too early bowl predictions. Yeah, we could do way too early draft stuff too. We could figure it out. There'll be enough NFL stuff to wrap up. What do I need to bring up? I guess I can bring up the stats, even though all the stats are kind of garbage time. Adjacent. Okay. We ready?
Yep.
Matt, you ready?
Good.
No tears yet?
Holding them in.
We'll get to it. All right. Get started in 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to the Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
We're doing well, Chris. We're doing the Super Bowl recap today, and we are joined by lifelong Chiefs fan Matthew Byers. Matthew has been our friend for a long time, played a lot of fantasy football games together, saw back-to-back Super Bowl champions, now saw his team get a massive ass kicking in the Super Bowl. I guess we'll just start with the Chiefs fans here, man. How do you feel? What are you going through? You've had a couple days to kind of relive through this. What's going on in your head?
Well, I mean, I checked out like third quarter. I mean, I like halftime. You know, they got the ball back, and I was like, they go up and put up a touchdown, maybe a 2-point conversion, make it 16 points, doable.
Mm-hmm.
And then the drive just stalled out, and then every drive after that stalled out. And so like midway through the third quarter, I just kind of sat there, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch now. And it was cool to see Worthy. I mean, I liked.
Yeah, some garbage
like
time
seeing-
throws. Yeah,
That was
like,
one of the best throws of the playoffs.
Yeah, he won me my longest touchdown bet.
There you go.
yes,
got
there was
got a
a
little
lot of
40
great bets there. There you go, great bets in the
Yeah.
garbage time that came down to
Yeah.
it. I'm surprised you kept it on though. Was there any thought of just turning it off?
There was thought. I mean, there was thought, and then I was like, Chiefs are playing in a Super Bowl. Like, I'm gonna watch it, even if they're not
Hey.
playing. I'll watch.
It's respectful. That's respectful. And I
I
guess
think
you get
also there's got to be that like little voice in your head that's. I guess at some
Patrick
point it goes
Mahomes.
away.
It's Patrick
but
Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes.
well, like, what if they come back?
Yeah,
What if they
exactly.
do? Like, what if
I
this
mean-
is just the greatest comeback ever?
That little voice. He was there. He was getting quiet, like more and more quiet. And then when the announcer was like, "Remember, you can only do onside kicks in the fourth quarter," and I looked, and there was like 8 seconds in the third quarter. That's when that little voice finally died. And I watched it. I didn't like seeing them do so many punts. Like after halftime when that drive stalled out, I think it was like 4th and 5, 4th and 6 maybe. Like we were in our own territory, but we're down 24 points. I don't think that you
I
can.
thought they might go for that.
I mean,
I was surprised too. You're almost to the do or die point where you need to score points on this drive, no matter what. You figure they just try to go for it. Um, I mean, but they were just getting clammed out there. There was nothing they could do in any down and distance. It really didn't matter what it was. Um, and I guess we'll get into that. We'll get into the stats in a second. The first half, one of the worst first half performances by just a team in a long time and in a lot of games. I just want to read off some of the stats. I'm sorry, Matt. We were gonna do this. You got basically volunteered to be on this podcast, by the way, just so the audience knows.
yeah.
Just so we're recapping here. Dylan texted you saying he said, I got you on the Wise Guys pod, like he's your agent. And,
Yeah.
and
I mean, hold on. I'll read the. You still see me?
Yeah, we can see you, but it is glitching out, so just note that.
Okay. Well,
but we can still hear and see you.
so last night he texts me. He says, "Hey," and then he says, "Need you to get on Wise Guys tomorrow." Which in my head that meant he's gonna be there.
Like he already talked to us about it.
Yeah, and then he says apologies about the Chiefs, tough end of the season, and talking to him and everything. And I was like, yeah, that sucks. And I was like, I get back from work around maybe 4 tomorrow, and I was like, well, what time would you want to do it? And he never answered me. So that's when I reached out to you, which I guess seemed like the most bold. I'm coming on the show because I was.
No, it was great. It was great. Yeah. I liked it though. You're just like, hey, Dylan and I are coming on can we come on the pod tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
I thought you already talked to you guys, so I thought it was like you didn't need an introduction. So I was like, yeah, well, Dylan and I are on the pod tomorrow, and you're like, well, we're doing it at 5, and I was like, perfect, I'll be there. And I text Dylan, and
so yeah. Long story short, you got volunteered to be on here and get talked about the Chiefs with the first half. 1 first down. It was the first play of their drive, or their game.
Yeah.
It was to Juju Smith-Schuster. They got 10 yards immediately. It was the quickest pass of the game, it felt like, and I just remember watching it. I was rewatching the highlights today. Great. Say again?
That moment felt great because you got that questionable penalty that caused the Eagles to punt.
Yeah.
And then, Chiefs get the ball back, quick 10-yard zip to Juju. Yep. I also had a bunch of Juju bets because I thought he was going to feast.
Mm-hmm.
So I was feeling great. And then I was waiting all first half for a running play, to switch it up on them, Didn't come. And then third quarter, we're down 24 points. Or no, it was when we were down 17 points. They ran with Pacheco 3 times in a row. And I was like...
Those are his only 3 carries of the game, too. For those 7 yards. I think Kareem Hunt did have a couple carries in the first half, but he ended with 4. Or with 3 as well. Samaje Perine ended with 1. They immediately got rid of the running game. And
well, you knew going into the game that they were going to struggle to run the ball, and I guess they were just like, we're not even going to try.
And I
feel like even when you know that you're fighting an uphill battle, I keep them honest a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. You got to at least try.
When half the time you drop back, you're losing 8 yards because getting sacked.
And I think the pressure on that first play, even though it was a completion to Juju and they were able to get that slant play in, it was like, oh, they're coming at us real fast, and this is going to be all game long. And they didn't blitz the whole game. They had a 50+% blitz rate, even though they never blitzed, or pressure rate. Sorry, even though they never blitzed. And the Chiefs, I mean, they just barely had the ball. In the first half, they only had 10 minutes of possession time, and that's what we said. The key of the game was the Eagles, and they controlled the whole game.
Yeah, that was sad to see. So many even Kelsey, he wasn't even laying blocks down. I saw Perine and Pacheco both getting just rushed right past the whole. I mean, we knew it was a problem all season because they've been moving the line around, and they moved Tooney over to the left tackle, and they're just And like I felt okay about it because Tooney was doing good out there. But like against the Eagles, they got a great pass rush. So it's like that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and honestly, when you mentioned Travis Kelce, did you see some of the All 22 film that has come out of Travis Kelce? He just looks like he's jogging the whole time. I mean, every time Mahomes threw to him and it was an incompletion, it seemed like he could have had his hands on the ball in a better position. It just felt like he was playing at maximum 75% on his maximum effort plays. And you see, there's this one play I saw on Twitter, and of course, you can snipe any play on Twitter and make someone look bad. But this is the Super Bowl we're talking about, and this is Travis Kelce, this is his third Super Bowl in a row. He's a 3-time Super Bowl winner. He should know what this is about. And Mahomes is running for his life, and Travis Kelce is standing there in the middle of the field like this, and he is open. And at one point, while Mahomes is running for the first down, instead of like trying to go and help or block him or trying to move upfield, he's just standing there like this, and then he puts his arms down and like walks up to where Mahomes slides for the first down. And like that type of shit just bothered me. Yeah, that pissed me off.
The defender that was on him gave him like enough distance where he wasn't on him, but he was still near him. And that same defender left Kelce to go help tackle Mahomes.
Yes.
So it's like, if you're not, and that's what he's always so good at, is he's always good at just finding the open space and getting open. And all season, I think he's looked slow. He's not playing fast, and I thought it was going to be his last season, regardless. Apparently, he wants to play more. I
just don't think you can retire after losing by 34, right?
I think it's better to go out like that than to have the same thing happen next year, or like if they don't make it back and he has an even worse season.
But if they lose in the playoffs next year, no one's going to remember it. If they lose in the playoffs next year, no one's going to care. No one's going to remember it. And if you can just go and retire and call it a day. That's what Tom Brady did.
I still think
after
about
he won.
Game.
This is very similar to the Bucs game.
It was worse.
It was way worse.
It was definitely worse.
Yeah,
at least
like the Bucs game, they had a chance for most of the game.
Yeah,
it was quick.
Because the Bucs game was like play after play of like Mahomes played like almost perfect in the Bucs game. This one he had his faults, but
yes,
even
this
with
was
all
his worst game.
Yeah.
And it comes into those scenarios where there was a lot of pressure at him, but at the end of the first half, the two back-to-back picks, I mean, the pick six to Cooper DeJean, and then immediately following the pick to the linebacker, I'm totally blanking on his name.
Vaughn.
Yep, thank you, Zach Vaughn. Mahomes is forcing these passes in to these wide receivers that are not open, and it's because the pressure's getting at him. And on the pick six, actually, he does this rollout, and it feels like the Chiefs have like a cheat code when they do rollouts because they could run with Mahomes, and he didn't feel like running because they were down by 17 already or 10 already, and forces the ball in. It comes in, and Cooper DeJean picks it off. It was that was just the go ahead straight up play. It looked like it was pretty much cooked after that. And it's funny though, like you have that moment happens, and you're still sitting there. I'm sitting there talking to the people that I'm watching the Super Bowl with. I'm like, it's 17 points. Tom Brady threw a pick six in Super Bowl 51. Like, what? Like this is the script. If he wants to come back and become the greatest of all time, like this is it. And then immediately forces another bad pass, makes it 24. Nothing at halftime.
Yeah, and I mean, to everybody's points, and at least in my mind, it's put a rest to like the GOAT debate. Mm-hmm. I won't even open the GOAT debate until after Mahomes retires, because I feel like you have to compare the two careers. Like everybody sees like what Mahomes has done, and they're projecting what is going to happen for the next 10 years, and it's like,
yeah.
Brady has done that, so he is the GOAT. Mahomes has to do that, and I would say do it better to take over the GOAT. So,
but this I think I was going to say, I think this was a huge game for that. Honestly, the more I didn't think about it as much going into the game as I did after the game of how much this mattered to Tom Brady's legacy, I guess. And because if Mahomes has that three-peat, he has 4 of 1 in first 5. He has a three-peat, which no team has ever done in the NFL. And we just come away we come away at this game. We're kind of screwed with football if we come away and the Chiefs win this game. Like we're like the best roster in the NFL can't beat this guy. Like who is going to do it? So we get rid of all of that. It almost seems like we can talk about football fairly again, where it's like we can't just expect the Chiefs to be here. But that being said, the way that the Chiefs played this game, honestly, is kind of an embarrassment to the rest of the AFC.
Yeah.
Does that not make sense?
No, I sat there and I couldn't help but think like the Bills, the Ravens. I was like,
how could they have not beaten these guys?
Yeah.
And
I don't understand it.
And it's funny because it seems like, all we talked about all postseason on this podcast was turnovers and mistakes and how those cost you football games. And every AFC team shit down their pants every time they played the Chiefs because they were the Chiefs. And really because they were facing the red uniform, it felt like. And they just made stupid mistakes constantly or didn't even get to face the Chiefs in like the Ravens case.
Yeah. Which I was most scared for Ravens.
No, but like if the Ravens, I feel like you see if Lamar Jackson's in the Super Bowl and the Eagles, does he shit down his pants and like throw a pick six and they lose this game to the Chiefs somehow? Like that's like Jalen Hurts. I know he had that pick, but besides that, basically arm punt, he had a perfect game. And none of the AFC quarterbacks besides Burrow have been able to do that against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and to Hurts' credit, like I was happy to see Hurts and Barkley get and DeJean because it was his birthday. Same with Barkley, but I was happy to see them get a ring. Because I really like Hurts. I don't think he's like he proved me wrong on Sunday because I don't think he's a great passer per se, but he was nailing some nice balls and like the Chiefs made it clear that they were going to shut down Barkley and leave it to Hurts, and he produced. And that, along with the Chiefs' struggles, just the Eagles played great. So,
well, we call ourselves the wise guys, but if you told me that the game was going to end,
Hurts.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead.
All right, I was just going to say real quick, if you told me, sorry. He said it first. We said it right. My bad. This could be quick. I just was gonna say if you told us, probably Chris too, that Barkley was gonna run for 25 for 57, we probably would have put a lot of money on the Chiefs, like a lot of money. So that's all.
And then you mix Xavier.
I had every Barkley prop in the book.
Yeah. So did I. Everything that you could imagine Barkley, and I think that's where Vegas reeled it in. They almost reeled it in a lot with that first touchdown being DeHaan Dotson. They would have raked so much money off the Hurts one, but then they got screwed with the going down at the 1 yard line. That was like a perfect Hurts. Everyone had him as some form of first touchdown.
What are you barking at? I think this season there's been like an illusion of Hurts not being good. Not being good, but like having a down season. And the thing with him this year was, could he get back to the 2022 form? And forget that for probably like 7 games there, he did look like that. And obviously Barkley and the O-line got all the credit, but he was playing at that level of football, and then he gets hurt and he misses last 3 games of the season. Comes back. Yeah. They don't look great against the Packers. The Rams game, it snows. So I think going into the Commanders game, it was like, well, if we just make Hurts beat us, then we got a shot. Yeah. And he did. And they did it again the next week against a defense that's a lot better than Washington's. So I guess it was when he got hurt, we just kind of forgot how good he had been playing earlier in the season. And then it's like everybody's surprised again.
Hurts so good.
I also think just like being Bill's quarterback and being on a roster that's that good, like you're going to have people telling you that you're overrated and you're an average quarterback. And like, you can't, like, you're not going to apologize for having a roster that good. Obviously, he wouldn't up the numbers that he does without the supporting cast that he has. It's like even good quarterbacks need good players around them to win games.
Yeah,
Anyway, I
not a
never
one-man
should have
sport.
hopped off the Hurts bandwagon because I was a big Hurts guy, and I don't know when I fell off, but I did. Now I regret it.
See, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just don't think he is a great quarterback. But
No, I don't think he's an elite quarterback.
Mhm.
And people are going to put him in that category now because he has the Super Bowl.
Oh
And,
yeah, it was
like, granted, he deserved that MVP, and there's a NFC Championship MVP, which is there? I don't know.
I don't think so.
He would have deserved that too. So, like, yes, he played 2 elite football games to win the Super Bowl for them, but no, I don't think he's not at that level.
Come on.
What's that face?
Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, he's just below it.
All right, but like, so what's the line here?
MVP.
What's the line here? I'd put him 4th in the NFL.
We put him 4th.
I put him, and then like that's like putting him behind Joe Burrow, and like I can argue he's over Joe Burrow. So maybe he's 3rd.
I would put him like 6 or 7.
I'm probably with Chris. I think that's
Like,
right.
think about Burrow with Jordan Mailata protecting his blind side. And like
It's true.
the defense.
And that line, yeah. And
If
that
the
line of
Bengals had the
defense. Look,
Eagles
yeah, I get
defense-
that. That's true. And honestly, you just put Burrow
Well,
on
no,
the Eagles.
don't have Jamar Chase and T.
But they have
Higgins,
A.J.
but
Brown
do
and they
A.J.
have-
Brown and
Yeah.
Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley. So I like if we play that game and then I
That game makes it
clear.
makes it tough. But I get your point. I think he's definitely put himself though above like, you know, there's no Herbert conversations here. There's no no CJ Stroud conversations here. None of that jazz. Like he's got to cement himself above those guys.
Hey, Herbert, there's a quality to Herbert.
Come on, no way.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, yeah.
Agree with you.
I think he's definitely
I'm still
above
taking Yates.
Herbert, but I feel like I would put them into the same category, but Hurts above Herbert. But like I feel like they're better
closer
than
to Herbert than Burrow.
Burrow's a tricky one. I don't know. I don't want to keep bringing it to Lamar. Lamar has 2 MVPs. Should have had a 3rd. But like, I just see him in the playoffs shit down his legs all the time, and I just don't see Jalen Hurts shit down his legs. And that quality.
No, yeah,
I guess I'm just factoring in maybe a little bit more, and I guess that quality also helps when you have the best roster in the NFL around you. Like you're not going to shit down your pants because you know what you're going to do. But you're right. If you put him on another team with the scrambling offensive line, you know, we've seen him have some trouble. So I don't know. That is definitely going to be a long conversation we'll have this offseason, I guess. All right, back to the game itself.
The best thing about Hurts, last thing I'll say about that. The best thing about Hurts is because he's the Eagles quarterback, these same people that will be arguing that he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL are the people who maybe 6 months ago were saying that he probably isn't the guy.
And that they wanted to fire Sirianni.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
I think everyone wanted to fire Sirianni. Like I think the average NFL fan probably would have said that he should have been fired.
Hate that
Not
guy.
just Eagle fans.
I will say though,
I actually thought Sirianni was kind of cool after the game.
Yeah, I think he got a big.
Acts like such a clown. He's very well spoken.
I was gonna say he got a big boost, I think, from winning this Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Definitely. Since we're talking about him again, since we're finishing up the conversation with him, Jalen Hurts does have the same Super Bowl record as Patrick Mahomes at the same time and age.
How old is he?
26.
He's young. I didn't know
this Eagles roster stays stacked for another year. You know,
wait, how old is Mahomes?
28.
He's 29.
28.
Is he 28?
He's either 28 or 29. Because if Jalen Hurts wins the next 2 Super Bowls, then he'd be tied with Oh no, he'd have to. You're right.
Are you just
So
saying
maybe it's like
wins, or
I think it's okay. Give me one second. Let me look at Patrick Mahomes' age. Because if he's
I think he's
29, this
20.
makes sense. If he's 29, it makes sense. It's 29. It makes sense.
you need to make the next? Okay, so
We're
you have
good
to
to
make the
go.
next
He had to
3
make the next 30. Yeah, but
and win two of the next 3.
he'd have to win two
They
of the next
stay
three.
stacked, like you were
But
saying, the way they are.
I was gonna say, I mean, Mahomes did it in 2 out of 3, so
Barkley's got
you
2
never
more
know.
years.
Yeah, I mean, this roster's gonna stay
Holmes is
stacked.
also
They
the
have a
MVP
lot
of
of
the
free agents.
league.
Look, I get it. I get it. I'm just throwing out a Super Bowl stat there. I understand.
I got your back, Matt.
The get ready when I throw out that he only beat Brock Purdy twice.
Wait,
And then
can
Jalen
I
Hurts
gauge?
again. Where you beat a worse Eagles roster with Jalen Hurts and almost lost.
Purdy, Garoppolo, and
Ugh.
Hurts. Yeah,
Oh,
with
Purdy and
James
Garoppolo.
Bradbury
Those are going to come down
instead
as
of
some
the
asterisks,
machine.
maybe. Purdy and Garoppolo. Come on. With Kyle Shanahan at the helm, too. Oh,
Hey,
that
but
is.
the year he beat Purdy was the year everybody was like up in arms about the guy, thinking he was the Messiah. So he was
That's
playing
true.
good that year,
That's true.
but
That's true.
he also had a great
Itself. Matt, were you
doing
watching
Really
commercials?
back.
Were you like,
Power through, Britt.
oh,
Make
okay,
up
I'm
for
powering through. Yeah, I'm back.
All
Okay.
right, nice.
Happened once a pod. Happens once a pod. So Matt, commercial wise, I mean, like, were you watching the commercials? Were you sat on your phone?
Well, I mean,
What's
I was
going
in a
on?
weird state of just like sitting on the couch looking at the screen.
Yeah,
It was like I don't know, like
like a trance. Like you were just like kind of
yeah,
forced.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I wasn't leaving and I didn't want to be there. I was somewhere in between. But
Yeah.
Where'd you take in the game? Like, this is
at
your
my
5th
house.
Super Bowl. Like, do you have a routine? Okay.
I set up
Because
like
I could never go to a Super Bowl party, I don't think.
yeah, no, I gotta watch. And like I went down, I had my hammer. I had all of my jerseys that I laid out on the couches and they were like
Oh,
back cushions and I hung up a Chiefs flag. I was ready to go. And then I'm sitting in that Chiefs memorabilia room just watching the decline of the Super Bowl. And if
I bet there's
there's
a lot of
ever
people like
little-
cheering right now, Matt, listening to this.
Oh, I know. And that was my
You could be a
main
little
reason.
more sad, though.
I wanted the Chiefs to win because everybody wanted them to lose.
Of
And
course. And you're a
where are
Chiefs fan.
you? Well, yeah, well, that was like secondary. Like that, I was like, my levels was everybody wanted them to lose. I was a Chiefs. Well, yeah, I was a Chiefs fan, and then the 3-peat. But everybody wanting them to lose. Where are you guys at? Where are you guys at on the whole rig thing? I gotta know.
Come on. No, we were never in
It's-
on the rig thing.
Okay,
That was stupid
okay,
from the
okay.
jump.
So my take on it is, and I think that this is the correct take, is that it's obviously not rigged,
Mm.
but I think there's always going to be an internal bias with referees towards the best players, and Brady was the same way.
Yeah. And
But
I get
it's
that.
not like they're not like getting the refs aren't deliberately giving them calls.
Yeah.
I think
The
that
calls
you
in
have,
the Super
as a
Bowl.
star player, and it's like that too, where 50-50 calls tend to go your way when
Mhm.
you're the better team and star player.
And it just
So that's
sucks. 'cause,
sport.
Like
not a Chiefs.
I would see like a questionable call that like I wouldn't even agree with, but it would get brought up to light and showcased for like a couple of days because it was the Chiefs. But like I would see a same or similar call like that on another team, but no one gave a shit because it's the Jaguars.
Mm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and there's so
Yeah,
much
and
more
people look
gravity every
for it,
time there's a
too.
call. Yeah, and there's so much more
Mhm.
gravity every time there's a call because you made a mistake against the Chiefs, and now they're going
Yeah.
to score on you.
Yeah.
Like 2 calls in the Super Bowl, in like the first quarter when it mattered, the AJ Brown pass interference, and then the callback, the Dallas Goedert defensive pass interference that it was kind of like a miss, like they kind of redid it. But I actually thought both of them were just good calls. Like I don't know why the announcers were so adamant that offensive pass
No, it was
interference was.
Brady really whining about it.
I know, but
Yeah.
it was obviously pass interference by the offense. I mean, his hand, like if you're watching on YouTube, his hand is in his face like this. That is like you
Yeah.
can't do that no
I
matter
didn't
what.
understand the outrage about that. I didn't think they needed to throw the flag, but I didn't understand why
Yeah.
it was like, oh, here we go. Like,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
refs are giving them the game. I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, technically, it is a foul.
It-
It didn't have to be called, but like that's every penalty,
I didn't
Yeah.
like
pretty
in
much
the
the whole
playoffs
game.
the refs constantly getting on. Like when the first time, I think it was in the Texans game. I forget who the announcer was, but he's like, "Oh God, here we go," and I was like the announcer's saying this? Like I thought, like
Yeah, I
why are
think
they
the
getting in
announcers need
on
to
this?
mind their own business when it comes to the calls. I think we talked about this a couple pods
I
ago,
know
Chris.
we
But
did.
yeah,
We did, yeah.
but they definitely need to mind their business when it comes to
Very
the
annoying.
calls. Yeah, we don't need your opinions on it. We need you to tell us about the game and how this can affect the game. All right.
At first on the AJ Brown, I didn't see it, but then when they showed the other angle and you could see AJ Brown reaching in his face mask and like tickling his eyeballs, I was like, okay,
I think it's because they never call that on AJ Brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just does
Basically
that all the
whatever he
time.
wants.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
true.
really frustrating. I'm happy that they finally call it. Matt, I do it for you as as someone who's watched this team for so many years. And this season, everybody was saying like, oh, like Mickey Mouse wins. They keep pulling off these one-score victories. Did you feel this year that you were watching a worse team, and like, did it feel like it caught up to them, or? Because for me, it was like
Yeah, no, we were bad
they
this year.
find ways to win. You were what?
We were bad this year. Like when everyone was like fraud, like 15-1 team or whatever. Like I
That's how you
agree
got to spin
because
it. That's how you got to spin it. We were bad all year.
yeah.
Shouldn't have even been there.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't even been there. Bad all
Hey
year.
guys, we were playing on a house.
Because that's
We were a
I'm watching
bad
the
team.
Super Bowl and I'm like, maybe they weren't that great, and like maybe they did have a bunch of fluky wins, but at the same time they were 15-2 and they made it to the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
and like the games on the way to the Super Bowl were fluky. So I don't know.
I didn't
I was
think
just curious
that.
where you stood on that.
Yeah, I didn't think they were like a bad team. Because obviously when you got Mahomes, like he makes things happen. And like the playoff wins, I mean the Texans. I feel like I wasn't worried about the Texans. I was extremely worried about the Bills more than the Eagles, and I guess that was my mistake. But no, they had a bunch of crazy wins this season where I was like, especially the Broncos one where they were lining up and
Yeah.
last 2 seconds and they're kicking the field goal. And I was just sitting there and I actually that was the first time I ever made like a huge bet on the Chiefs, and it'll probably be the last time because I had like $80 or something on the Chiefs to win because the odds were so good in my opinion. And then the game stalled out the whole game, and then the Broncos are lining up to win. I was like, damn. And then they blocked the kick, and I almost jumped out of my seat. I couldn't believe it.
That yeah, those were the telling games where it's like they're close against the Broncos. You know, they were close against the Panthers.
Raiders
Yeah.
game was
Raiders
close.
team they should have lost against. And they were just always smarter than the other team. And it's like they finally came against a team where they weren't smarter than, and they couldn't physically beat them with basically Worthy because that was kind of the only physical player that they had. And he wasn't even physical; he was just fast. So when you have those two options taken away from you, and you have four-man pressure coming after you every play, I mean, that's just it's a easy recipe to say, but clearly all these AFC teams couldn't even muster up a chance like the Eagles did.
Yeah. It almost felt like watching the game, it almost felt like they gave up once they got to the Super Bowl. Like, cause they played great against the Bills, and I've seen them play good all season with like the fundamentals. Like they were a good team with their blocks, tackles, making sure to hold on to the ball, making sure to catch the ball, the basic stuff. And then they get to the Eagles game, and like Mahomes is throwing in the dirt, people are dropping it, the blocks aren't there, and it's like, and Pacheco, he hasn't looked good since he came back from his injury. I don't know what's up with him, but I hope next year is like, they always say it takes like a year to a year and a half to get back to where you were. So I'm hoping he gets back.
Yeah, there was a big 3rd and 11 that DeAndre Hopkins is wide open in the middle of the field.
That one was so bad.
Just
Yeah.
completely drops it. That was a brutal drop. I mean, I remember watching that just for the parlay, my parlay alone. I was pissed about it. But
To
that would have
me-
given the Chiefs a great opportunity to score before halftime and
Mhm.
make this some sort of a game, like just something. And
Yeah.
even if they kick a field goal, it's like at least they get some points on the board. But
Yeah.
that drop, it just seemed like
73.
just added to the negative momentum that the Chiefs were bringing along.
And in my opinion, that right there might have been the play of the game, because you go down and you get either 3 or 7 points, or even 6 points if they fail the 2-point conversion. But just get something. I feel like going at halftime and you're either like 17-3, 17-6, 8-7, whatever. That feels better than 17-0 and your team isn't doing anything. And I feel like morale would have been higher.
Yeah, and that resulted in a punt, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the punt was, if they became 24-0 after the pick or after the punt, but then it quickly becomes 24-0. So it's even bigger of a deficit that you couldn't come after.
I think the Eagles had to punt in the Chiefs. I think that's when Mahomes threw the Vaughn interception, and then I think they got points after that. I'm not sure. Again, I was in limbo.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was a mess. It was a mess. I'm pretty sure the Bond and picks from Cooper were back to back though, which is honestly maybe the worst 2 passes of Mahomes' career.
About right.
There was
The
a
one he
moment.
got hit on.
Yes, one he did get hit
I
on.
think he was getting
The
not too bad.
the one where he got smacked with the forced fumble. And it was funny because you're looking at all these replays afterwards, and it's all these people, the same people that post, "Oh, if this was a hit on Mahomes, he'd be arrested." It's the same people posting this play, like, "Oh, Mahomes got freaking wrecked. Let's go!" And it's like, and it's just, I honestly was surprised they didn't throw a flag on that play. I mean, he hit him right in the face.
I think the refs were asleep at this point. I think they were just like, "Come on, guys!" Like,
And I think honestly, they were like the Chiefs were down by so much. The last thing the refs and the NFL needed was a ref momentum boost for the Chiefs. They're probably like, just leave that one, let it go. We'll take this. We can give them the Super Bowl next year.
We're not gonna let them three-peat for obvious reasons, but they can go back.
Yeah, they can take it next year.
They can three-peat in 10 years. Brady arc.
I'd be so hyped.
Just to surpass him right at the end.
Cools off for a little bit.
Yeah, right at the end.
40, 3 Super Bowls.
If any team can win 2 Super Bowls and has the chance to three-peat, I don't care who it is. I will be, unless they play the Chiefs. I'll preface that. I'll be rooting for them because I want to see somebody do it.
I would not like to see that.
I don't think I'm rooting for it either. No. I wasn't rooting for it this year, really.
Well, I get not rooting for it this year. I mean,
maybe it's like, maybe it's the Pats again or the Commanders. There you go. We can be behind that one.
Yeah, I would like to I'd like one to start though.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get the gang back together at 1.
It hit me like probably 10 minutes ago that I'm in our like Discord setup right now. I'm sandwiched between like 17 Super Bowl appearances. It's like instantly made me sad. It's not bent to 0.
I think it's kind of crazy because I was on Xbox. I know it was with Brady. I don't know if you were there too, Chris, but Brady was like, "Oh man, they just traded Alex Smith." I was like, "What?"
Oh, I'm glad you brought this up. I was going to bring this up.
Yeah, I was like, oh, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Yeah, they traded Alex Smith." And I was like, "Well, who's the other quarterback?" You're like, "Patrick Mahomes." And I was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, it was like existential crisis because I've been watching Smith forever. And I was like, no. I was like, they did not trade him. But
turned out to be the best decision of their franchise.
Yeah.
They knew. They knew, obviously.
That's why they
That
traded
When
up.
you look at Andy Reid, you just got to trust his decisions.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Max. I remember telling you like, oh, they drafted this guy last year. You know, he played one game. Like, he'll be your starter for the next couple years. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he won't. And you're like, oh, was MVP caliber.
Hey, you gotta remember, I had just started watching probably like 6th grade maybe, and so like I'm watching Alex Smith and like he's all I've ever known.
Yeah,
So
and, it was his best year. Like, it was the Chiefs'
Yeah.
best year. It was his best year. So yeah, I could see you being flustered about that. But it was funny. I just always think about that every time that Mahomes comes on the field.
Yeah.
I was looking at my old tweets today, and I found some incredibly cold takes that I
Oh
had
no!
not even a year ago. Like when the Commanders hired Kingsbury, and I had a couple tweets about how that meant that they were getting Caleb, and then I had one that was like, I need Caleb as my quarterback, and I won't be happy with anybody else. I was like, I might just need to delete this one, but I didn't. I left it up there.
You gotta
It's
leave it.
it's not as bad
But
as
that
Josh
was
Rosen.
So you're not the only one.
Can we come back to is it been 6 years since the Josh Rosen tweet or whatever?
It was 3 years. Yeah, we've come and past that.
It was only 3. I only gave Rosen 3 years to
It
get
was
to
you
Hall
gave
of
him 3
Fame.
years.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a reminder on my phone to retweet that.
Oh man, it seems like we're having some audio issues on YouTube. Recording wise, it's not an issue
Oh,
though, but that's okay.
okay.
Recording wise, it should be fine.
Just
Um,
less activity from the peanut gallery.
yeah, it definitely is less activity from there. Came in saying the boys are buzzing, and then audio couldn't chat or audio choppy. Sad. I don't know what to do. Stream health says good. All the stuff on OBS says it's fine. I don't know. It's recording fine, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, Anywho, what else? What else in this game haven't we hit? I mean, bet wise, besides all the Saquon stuff, that really screwed me. Um, but
Yeah.
we hit the if you listen to the Hopkins parlay, 2.5 catches or two catches and a touchdown. That was easy money. Made me like $40. Dallas Goedert screwed us. He got the first catch of the game, and he only needed like 50 yards. He got like 22 yards on the first catch of the game, and then never caught another ball. So that sucked.
And Kelsey yards too.
Kelsey yards was abysmal. Eagles halftime
Eagles
money
first
line
half,
was the easiest.
I had
Yeah,
that.
easiest play. And then
I think
what
that's
else?
my only winner.
Worthy pretty much hit on everything. If you had anything worthy, including
Yeah,
the 18
I
miles
think
per hour that I threw out.
Oh, he won that. I
Yeah,
guess
he
that makes
won that.
sense.
Yeah, that garbage time I guess
Ryan just
helped
scored a touchdown, did
for all the
not.
worthy
Ertz
stuff.
under did not.
Yeah, Juju didn't hit.
I got
I mean,
smoked.
Noah Gray only caught one ball. He got that 2 point though, so I thought that could have counted, but it didn't count. Yeah, it was kind of rough. I mean, the over 1.5 quarter or 2.5 quarterbacks throwing a ball hit because of Kenny Pickett. Other than that, I mean, all the other bets were
Oh,
kind
I
of
didn't even
chalked
think
up.
about that.
Yeah, I mean, like no one got over 100 receiving yards besides Worthy, which Worthy the quietest, like
Had
best
like
game of his
what, 8 for
career.
a buck
Yeah,
50.
yeah, and 2 touchdowns.
He set a record as a rookie, all in garbage time.
Not shocked, not shocked at all.
Did you see the YouTube video with the title that was like Chiefs respond quickly with a touchdown, and it's like
Yes.
they're down 34. That
No,
was so funny.
I was
I'm
so
assuming
sad.
quickly from the last Eagles score is what that was.
Yeah.
But they might have wanted to run that by the editor one more time.
I mean, that hurt my soul when the Eagles came out and just immediately diced up Devonta Smith and gave him a
Yeah.
touchdown right over the middle. I was like, Jesus.
That was big to the balls.
Like didn't even run out the clock because I was telling my family, I was like, because the Falcons, when they played the Patriots, man, they let that shit go. Like, all you got to do is sustain just a couple drives, just get a couple first downs. Like, the Eagles were doing it smart. They were bleeding that clock fat. Like, the whole third quarter was just churning out.
Yeah, it disappeared.
Yeah.
And so when I'm sitting there with my family and I'm watching the Eagles just sustain this massive drive in the third quarter, I was like,
That's
they know
it.
what they're doing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That it was, and when you look at that, I didn't want to bring it up. I mean, I always want to bring it up, but when you look at the 28-3 victory, literally everything had to go perfect for the Patriots. And if the Falcons, like, if they go 5 more yards in any one of their drives, they win that Super Bowl. And
it was gross incompetence.
Yes.
They also were in field goal range.
Yes.
And
got strip sacked.
Dropped back to throw a pass, took a holding penalty.
That too.
Knocked them out of field goal range.
That was the when Edelman had that,
Edelman caught that in the middle. Yeah.
Catch. And that was like right off the guy's fingertips. So like he catches that, you know. So
he doesn't catch that ball, they don't win. There's literally every play had to go perfectly. Yeah. And that was what the Chiefs, I mean, they couldn't get 3 plays to go perfectly. Honestly, they couldn't get anything going on. And as you said, the Eagles had the perfect game plan once they were up. Even though they couldn't get Barkley running on the field, they were still running with Barkley. They still gave him 25 yards or 25 carries, which another thing I love to mention, when you have a good running back, give him 20 plus carries. And the Super Bowl winning team just did that, even though they couldn't really run with him. Anyways, what else do I gotta say? That's really all I got. The Eagles played a perfect game here. Oh, no first fumble, first turnover fumble. That was really disappointing. I had that one. Jalen Hurts. It was literally an arm punt too.
Hit in the first half too.
Yeah,
I thought they were in field goal range for that.
They might have been, but it was. I mean, the reason why I call it an arm punt is because
no, this is not good.
Yeah, I knew. I remember seeing it and was like, "This isn't going to be. This is great." But then again, Chiefs couldn't muster up anything.
Was it as good as Josh Allen's arm punt against the Pats? I think.
What, in like week 18 or week 7, week 10 or whatever when he
did
that
around? It was like this was the moment they won Josh Allen the MVP.
Oh yeah,
it was like Josh Allen's arm punt sticks the pass at the one.
Yeah, I do remember that. I actually do. That was hilarious.
Top 5 arm punts.
Leading rusher for the Chiefs being Mahomes. Just a telling sign.
Yeah.
Just a telling sign. Other than that, I think that's. Oh, this was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Before the game Sunday, I bought an NFL pack, like a booster pack, 20 players in it, and I pulled and I said any player that is in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna try to bet on them. I had Johnny Wilson pulled from the Eagles, a rookie wide receiver, and then I had George Karlaftis on the Chiefs. So I bet him 1 sack, and I bet Johnny Wilson a catch. Johnny Wilson freaking dropped it. It was plus 400. I fell to my knees. I was like, this guy needs 1 catch to make $5 instantly, and just God. But that I thought that was funny. Mike said that he hit the 2-point, cashed him Eagles by 13, between 13 and 18. That's a pretty sneaky bet. I think my dumbest moment of the game was before the game. My buddy Riley texted me a CBS analyzer that analyzed the game and said that the Eagles point spread should be minus 16.5, and the line is drastically wrong. And I don't know why I didn't believe him. Don't know why I didn't believe CBS. They had the calculator, man. They had it. They had that squared, bro. They had that squared away.
That's actually kind of crazy. I didn't
even mention it on the pod. I call myself the wise guy, and I learn information like that, and then I don't even share it. It's like, what are we doing here, man? So
I thought you said just before the game.
No, he sent me before the pod, before the Brett's pod. I don't know. Let's do it out. I don't know why.
I wonder what the odds.
Probably would like plus Yeah, like Eagles minus 16.5 must have been like plus 570 minimum.
I think it's got to
Right.
be higher than that.
Yeah, probably more than that.
Oh God.
Well,
Anyway.
I mean, they were like
oh well.
the odds for them were like they were like almost negative. I think Chiefs were slightly favorited, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Mhm.
The
And
go ahead.
no, so Eagles were. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and if
they,
Eagles were
I think they were plus
slightly
1.5.
favored, then yeah, that would have been crazy.
Would have been a crazy payout. The what else do I got? The commercials. That's really it. Any that stand out? The coffee made one
Like the seal.
needed to the
Seal
seal
was my favorite.
that was pretty funny. I thought that was good. It was definitely disturbing, but it was good.
It was disturbing.
I'll
The,
tell you,
I can't
disturbing.
even remember
That
the other
tongue
ones,
one.
to be honest.
there wasn't a lot
The
of good
tongue
ones.
one.
Yes, the
That-
tongue one with the
yeah,
coffee
tongue
made.
one was something.
That needed
That
to
was-
No,
like
that's-
that needed to go, and they need to be fired.
I just said get
Those
through
marketing
a
guys.
review board.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like this is the Super Bowl here. People want to talk about provocative halftime shows. And what about that commercial, bro? There are children watching the Super Bowl, and he is licking the cream
speaking of-
off the tip of a freaking coffee creamer, bro. What are we doing here?
Imagine trying to
Speaking
pitch
of-
that. You're like, and then
And then his tongue
will come up,
moves
and
up
it'll
and
lick
does
everything, and you're like,
tricks.
I will say I actually laughed pretty hard at that one.
Oh, the
I sat there
whole,
silent.
yeah, everyone I was with was like, what? like literally, like holding everyone back. Like, what the hell's going on here?
hey, I mean,
Kanye
Yeah,
had-
the liquid
talking
death
about it.
drinking and driving one might not have been a great idea.
I don't remember the drinking driving one. I just remember the all like the
remember.
doctors and stuff having the liquid death and like it was like for employees or something. I don't know. Maybe I misinterpreted that.
There was one. I don't know if it was like the whole commercial, but there was like somebody in the car like I don't know about that.
Liquid death, great concept, but like
TikTok could be great.
I want to like reseal my water though. That's
I don't
that's
get
my
liquid
issue.
death.
It's supposed to be death
It's
to like plastic
water's
water. It's supposed to be like death to plastic water.
Who buys plastic water anymore?
It's a great point. It's a great point.
There's refill stations everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, I don't know, and it's like you want to be able to refill your water. Like that's the one drink that like you want to be able to
I
carry
know.
around all day. Like, you don't want it in
When
a
I sit on the
can.
couch, a Yeti like lays next to me. I don't have to
Yep.
reach over to the table.
Oh, it's in my bed. It's all over the place. Like I bring it everywhere. So yeah, I don't know. That was funny. The Kanye West one, I don't know how he's allowed to keep having Super Bowl ads. It's like how is he allowed to do this? Like the only thing on his website was a shirt with a swastika. Like what are we doing here? How is this allowed?
Are you serious? That's the only thing on his site.
If you went to the website the day of the Super Bowl when he did his ad where he's in a dentist chair, filming on his iPhone, it was just a white T-shirt with a swastika on. What are we doing? How is this allowed? I don't care how much money he paid for the Super Bowl ad. Can't you just be like, yo, Kanye, you gonna do some racist shit? Don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Like, what's going on? Come on,
This is a good moment.
nobody's checking this.
Yeah, this might be a good moment for the NFL to start doing screening on everybody that wants to do an ad. Like you're doing what with a tongue? No.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I'm saying. Where are the risk managers here? Dude, this is some risk, bro. Kanye
No,
can't be
they're
on,
just
on a million screens in America after the shit that he's been tweeting. Like, that should be pretty common law that he can't be doing a Super Bowl ad for hundreds of millions of people.
That's like $8 million. All right, go whatever. Got 30
I mean,
seconds.
the price of those ads, like they're already making so much money.
I know it's like just get
what's an extra
nobody
couple
and
million?
nobody else is willing to pay that. Like you're telling me that slot's just gonna go empty if Kanye West doesn't fill in? Like, give me a break. There was a bunch of there was a bunch of weird ads too. I like the one with the country roads, and then it came to the Super Bowl, and they're playing it in the Super Bowl. I think it was Rocket Mortgage that did it, but they were like playing. Everyone's basically singing in the stadium, and then they play it in the stadium, and everyone's singing. And I thought that was cool. Um, a lot of like singing ones, unity ones. I thought that's good. Um, I don't know. Halftime show was cool. I liked it.
Tom Brady being a robot.
He was,
Oh,
yeah,
that one was funny.
Funny.
yeah. Tom Brady being a row was funny, which is funny because then you listen to him and you're like, yeah, he's like a Madden announcer.
Yeah.
The
He is a mad announcer.
It doesn't make any sense because he's so much better on like he went on Cowherd this week and he was amazing. He was like, I come in and I prep for the I knew exactly what the Chiefs were going to do the second I stepped on the field. And I studied them and I did and like he's talking to Gil in this grave detail and then he gets into the game and he's like, get out the boom, and it's like, all right, Tom Brady, all right. He's like, these
Well,
are two
I feel
strong teams. It's like, all right.
I think 10 to 20% of the time he actually offers pretty decent insight.
Yes.
And you like hear him say something, you're like, oh, like that was a good point, Tom Brady. And it's usually stuff that you don't know, like as a casual football fan, and it's like actually helpful. And the rest of it's just that kind of stuff where he's like, yeah, Pacheco, he had the ball there and didn't have any room. It's like, thanks.
Well, I mean, like
that's great.
what I don't understand is, and this is a perfect scenario to pull this out. When the Chiefs get the ball in the third quarter, why don't you just go, hey, when I was down 28-3 in the Super Bowl, this is what I did. And this is what the Chiefs need to do.
Right.
And this is what, like, he needs to be doing shit like that and kind of saying, like, hey, like, I'm the best to do this. Like, this is how I need to do it.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what people want to
That was
hear.
me.
That's
I
why
need to do
you
this.
paid so much money for Tom Brady instead of Greg Olson to do it.
Paid all that money. He's like, oh man, what a nice throw. We're like,
I
thanks,
hate it. And
TV.
he's so like his voice can be so choppy too, because it's like he's trying to think of what he's gonna say. Which like I
He's
get
always
it's his
yelling.
first season doing announcing. But yeah, he doesn't have to be so loud.
Might be a
He
Patriots
just
thing.
says like some obvious things.
Hurts! All right, Tom.
Because whenever Gronk talks, first of all, whenever Gronk talks, it looks like he's fighting everything in his body to get the words out clearly. It's not a dig at Gronk. I think also
That's a
all
big
my fellow Chiefs fans will probably throw me off a bridge, but I still think Gronk is the GOAT tight end. Because if it was a choice and I was a defender and I either have to tackle Kelsey or Gronk who's running at me laughing, give me Kelsey. I don't want the guy laughing, yelling at me to hit him.
Hey, if
Like,
it's
that's
this year's
terrifying.
Kelsey just will drop it in front of you or fall down in front of you. It's this year's
But
Kelsey.
no, he whenever he talks, I always feel like he's fighting just the urge to go full on stupid and like be like me football.
Yeah, I just also think like there's a degree, when everyone talks to you in some way, you eventually like no matter whether you do it or not, like you adopt whatever the hell they're talking about so much, and like they always talk about Gronk like he's just this like dumbass, and so like basically he probably just feeds into it a little bit, right? He's like it's like creeping out, like as you said, like me Gronk football, like he just like I got to give the people what they want, and he just like it just comes flowing out. So I think that's we got everything on the game, right? Nine, you got anything lingering in the back of your mind?
I'm pretty Super Bowled out. I mean, I was sitting in the third quarter. I told my family, I was like, I'm ready for next year.
Yeah. So I mean, offensive line, biggest priority. Do you think the Chiefs they make
injuries, right? Like before the injuries, you were pretty solid up front, no?
Well, we were because after the Bucs Super Bowl, they went and they revamped the whole line, and they made that a priority. And I'm not entirely sure like what happened with the tackles. I know
they only got him for like 2 years. Yeah, they had him for like yeah.
And who did they went out and got Humphreys?
They had Trent Brown too. For a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then the first game he's there, he gets hurt and he's gone, and it's like, damn. So now we're back to like the shuffleboarding, and I hope they go get new tackle. I hate Jawan Taylor. I've hated him for years. The fact that he's gotten Super Bowls pisses me off because he's not good. And whenever he does that stupid ass jump a millisecond before the other guy, I'm like, just like I get it, but just block him. Like they're gonna get you on that penalty so many times, and if you just wait and jump when you're supposed to jump, yeah, you might be a millisecond off beat, but like those penalties were killers sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and he holds all the time. Whenever there's a flag, I always turn to Kayla. I'm like, probably Taylor, and they're like, number 74. I'm like, so I pray that he's gone, but
You need a
No one-
scapegoat on your offensive line, though.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you need someone that whenever there's a flag, you know who it is. I feel like that's just a football fan classic. Like in Washington, it's Wiley. Every time there's a penalty, it's probably
Mhm.
Wiley again. Guy
Yeah,
sucks.
You're welcome for him. We had some penalties with him, and I remember screaming his name.
Penalties achieved. We
But-
kicked him out the tackle though. Hasn't gone great.
When you move the guard from tackle, I mean, like they're still good players, just that they're smaller and they get pushed back immediately.
Yeah.
And you saw that
And
against
he
There's such
Nolan
a difference
Smith.
between moving a tackle to a guard
Mhm.
Yeah.
versus the other way. I mean, look at Mekhi Becton.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you go from
6'12", 800 pounds, and all
yeah,
of a sudden
yeah,
he gets
no,
to play
it's-
on the inside.
when you go from guard to tackle, it's out of necessity or your arms are and like
Yes.
desperation. But when you go from tackle to guard, it's out of luxury, baby. It's out of you have too
Or
many.
it's like
good
this guy
tackles.
sucks at tackle.
Yes, and he sucks at tackle. Yeah.
Eric Flowers, worst
Oh, yeah.
offensive tackle in the league, and then all of a sudden he's a top
But-
10 guard.
Yeah, for like the other contract stuff, I know Kelsey's got like they're gonna have to rework him, and like if he
Stays.
if he stays, I can't see him going to another team. But I mean, who could see their favorite? Like I never saw Brady going to another team, but Gronk,
Yeah, I don't
guess
think. I think he'd retire before he leaves Mahomes.
Yeah, I thought he would too, but I think he'll stay. I think he'll take just a very light contract. They'll
Doesn't
probably
need money.
yeah. They'll
This podcast is probably making him $5 million a year and more.
yeah. Mahomes, they'll restructure him again, and then I don't know. I like Bolton. I think Bolton's really good. That dude just can't run. Like if someone gets in the open field and Bolton's trying to close the distance, they're gone. But he's great run
First
defense.
negative on Bolton. Yeah, I was gonna say it's the first
Yeah.
negative on Bolton I think I've ever heard.
No, and I love Bolton because he's my hero for the Eagles Super Bowl when he forced that Hurts fumble and touchdown,
Yeah.
and that was a real momentum switch.
Mm-hmm.
And I've loved him ever since that. But I know he's slow, and I hate to dig on him like that, but the dude's slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a free agent coming up, so it's gonna be interesting to see
Yeah.
how much because the middle linebacker market is pretty big, so it'll be interesting to see how much he commands here. Try to stay. I mean, it says you guys have Kelsey for this next year at 17 million, and so they might restructure him to try to get some other cap space to free.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be opposed to that. And I'm trying to think who the other. I mean, obviously Hunt.
Let's get you guys a running back.
Right? As a free agent.
Let's get you guys a real running back.
Oh hell,
There's just not that many names.
I don't want to see him move on
Aaron
from Beckham.
Jones.
Oh, Chris, we lost you for a second. So there wasn't that many names, and then
Yeah, they took him out.
Opened up.
yeah, they took him out.
Austin Eckler and the running back
I
committee.
don't even know what I was saying. The running backs, yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, I think, is the top running back.
Mhm. Yeah, that is kind of brutal. Because it's funny now. It's like the running back was so unimportant, but now it's not like it's the most important because it's not like you just saw the Super Bowl winning team dominate with their running back, but they dominated all year with their running back, and they had that in their back pocket for the Super Bowl. And now running backs like dime a dozen. I feel like I don't want like 50, maybe 90% of the running backs in the league. Personally, like on my team, like when I'm looking through Madden now, like I don't want any of these guys. Like, I want like Jameer Gibbs, and like
Oh man,
Yes.
and like Henry and
You need a home run
Saquon. Yeah, you
So
really
wait,
do.
I just want to run back something you said there. Are you
Oh,
are you out? Are you out on Pacheco?
I think so, man. I don't know. He
I
just
love
had a
that
terrible
guy.
end of it. I know you do, but he had just a terrible end of the season, man. Like
I
an
know, but
awful end of the season.
that injury, that shit fucked him up. Like he broke his damn whole leg. So
Yeah, but even in his best, it's not like he's ever been a 1,000-yard rusher. He always needed another guy. You feel?
he was close. He was
He was
close
close.
last year.
935 last year. Yeah, 7 touchdowns. It's a good season. It's a good season.
And
I
this
just don't
year,
think he's an elite running back.
I mean, I'm just saying this year we were about to see something special.
And then you trade him in fantasy. So come on now. What was special?
Because I knew
You
he
didn't even
wasn't.
believe in him
He came
yourself.
back from
He's
a
addicted to
broken leg.
trades.
He is
He's
addicted to
addicted to
trades.
trades. You
Yeah,
can't
that
let
is
him
true.
against
Yeah,
we
don't
can.
hold that on. It broke my heart, but this dude broke his leg. He's not getting me 20 fantasy points next week. I know he's not. And they had Hunt, so. Oh yeah,
I just-
Hunt and Hopkins are free agents, so.
Get him out of here. Get both those guys out of here. Get him
Yeah.
gone. I got Adam Scheffler because I thought DeAndre Hopkins retired. He said he retired
Isn't
right at.
it like the contrary that he's not retiring?
I don't think Adam Scheffner himself actually said anything about it. I just think Adam Scheffler got me. And then and I get and like Ethan was like, "Oh, this was Adam Scheffler," and I was just like, I don't understand. Like, what is the point of this Adam Scheffler post? Like, this doesn't affect anyone. And he's like,
It's not
and
funny
like-
at all.
then
Is it
Ethan
like
just
a parody
responded.
account?
Yeah,
It's just
it was a parody
misinformation
account.
for the sake
Yeah.
of misinformation.
And then Ethan
Those people are
responded.
the
He was like,
worst.
"Well, it got you, didn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess, I guess so."
Those people are actual scum.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
like,
know. It's like what losers, bro. Like that's what you're gonna do.
work hard on that. Like they make the whole
Oh, yeah.
like poster and everything, and like I'm just scrolling, I see it. I'm like, oh.
No, and they like they probably copied and pasted an old retirement tweet
Oh,
and
yeah.
like switched around the names and put up a picture. Did you see his comments about the refs though? His comments
I
about the
did.
refs. That was abysmal.
What did he say?
You
said-
see that shit.
He said,
and-
"Oh, they talked about the Chiefs getting calls all game. Are they going to analyze this game and look at the Eagles calls?"
and they're buying into
Yes.
the stuff all season, and I get it, but I've always said if you ever have to cite the refs, unless it was like actual egregious calls, which there weren't.
Saints is the only one.
What
They
was
lost
that?
by
one that I can think
18. They were down 34
I know.
nothing. The refs did nothing
Yeah.
to do with it.
No, if you ever have to cite the refs in a game, you shouldn't have won that game. And
There were Commanders fans complaining about the refs in the Eagles game. I was like, we lost by 30 points.
yeah,
Even
but
if every ball went your way.
Commanders,
So stupid.
if they didn't fumble all the times they did and didn't make those mistakes, I think it would have been a lot closer.
I mean, they had it within 11 at the end of the third quarter and fumbled. So even
Yeah.
after the first two, they were still in it.
And I thought the whole time they were gonna. That was my biggest grievance with the Chiefs game. Is I don't like. It makes me sad if the Chiefs lose, but I'm happy if the game was good.
It's
Like when they
good.
played
Yeah.
the Patriots in the 2019 championship game,
Yeah.
and they lost in
That was
overtime.
an awesome game.
That was a great game. And I sat and I remember Steven, he was pissed. But I was just happy it was a fun game to watch.
Hey,
Also,
and-
went like Super Bowl or bust that year. That was
Yeah.
like the first great Mahomes year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you knew you had the next 10 ahead of you.
Yeah.
See, your
Very
brother's
excited about it.
funny. He posted before the Super Bowl. It was like it was Mahomes and like literally dressed as like the devil and with all like the devil gear around him, and Steven was like, "Bring me the magic." That was great. I thought that was awesome.
I think I sent it to the group chat, but I bought like a refs jersey and a whistle and some flags, and I wear that. I was wearing that, and like when they called when AJ Brown caught that like 30-yard bomb to start the game off, I was like, fuck, and then they threw the flag. I was like, oh, and I grabbed the whistle. And
We had in my Super Bowl party, we had a ref fan. He came in with the ref jersey on and the whistles, and every time that a call came on, he was pumped. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I feel like we got halftime. We want to do anything on halftime? I thought it was good. I don't feel like I have
I
a
was in the
lot to.
car,
No,
so I heard it, but I didn't watch.
I mean, he played good songs. I thought it was I feel like there's so many people that get like dive so deep into it. And, like, I don't want to do that. Like that just makes it so lame. What I always come around way with the Super Bowl halftime performance is like everyone's like, "Oh, what does it mean? What does it mean?" It means he wanted to put on something cool. He
Yep.
put on something cool, and you either liked it or you didn't like it. You either thought it was political or you didn't think it was political. And he dissed Drake. That was fun.
Like the song. Yep.
Yep, he played the song. He looked right into the camera when he said "Hey Drake" too. That was sick. Serena Williams was crip walking. Thought that was pretty tough. Other than that,
Also, I feel kind of bad for her husband because now he's catching strays.
yeah, I saw that.
Of that picture with
Yeah,
him shirtless. It's
yeah,
like,
I saw that.
come on, just let my man enjoy a vacation.
Exactly. Did you see Stephen A. Smith's comment on Serena Williams? The headline, New York Post on the headline, and this is, I didn't actually read the article, so I don't know what it says. But the New York Post headline says Stephen A. Smith says he would divorce Serena Williams if that was his wife on the thing. And then somebody retweeted it and said, I read the full article. At the end of the article, it says he would divorce her to then remarry her. Basically, like, it was so awesome. He would have to divorce her to then remarry her on how awesome it was.
That's about the dumbest thing that you could say
There's
as an announcer.
There's
'Cause
just absolutely
You
stupid
know it's gonna get
discourse. Oh,
misconstrued.
it's just stupid discourse wherever you look on the internet. It's really a magical place.
I've had to turn off Twitter because I get on Twitter and all I see on my feed is either like Mahomes and Brady comparisons or people shitting on Mahomes or just one of those two. And I look at it for like 2 minutes and I'm like, nah, all right. And I put it down and I'm like,
Yeah, you got to wait a couple months. You're gonna have to. Social media is gonna be Eagles heavy for about until something cool happens in the NBA.
yeah.
Well, they did, and then now we're back to the NFL.
That's true.
World.
Yeah, we had the Luca thing on Monday, so that was like a cool, like everyone was like, "Oh, sports is done," and then like people cared about that, so that was cool. But yeah, football is done. That is a recap from the 2024 NFL season. A very hodgepodge Super Bowl recap, but I hope you enjoyed. Matt, I was gonna say, any last thoughts?
I got one question, and I want to see
Okay.
who you guys think would be like your biggest sleeper team for next year, like just right now, like before
off the
any
dome.
Yeah, before any draft picks, before any moves at all.
All right, Chris.
So I don't know why I was doing this. Oh, because I was looking for the top free agent list because I tried to pull it up on my computer, and then it crashed my Discord, I guess. But the first article on Walter Football was 2025 NFL betting futures, so I had to take a look. The Vikings are 40-1, and I think if JJ McCarthy is Sam Darnold that doesn't piss down his leg in big games, there's a chance there. So 40-1, I think is kind of wild. I think there's value there. The Chargers are the other one that I thought of that I feel like I could see them making a big play this offseason, whether it's for Higgins or for somebody else. But just with Harbaugh and with how good they are in the trenches.
I like both those picks. I like those.
Oh, they might lose Bosa and Matt. So I have to see how they replace those guys.
I don't know. I don't think the Pats can win the Super Bowl, but I do think that'll be fun. I like both the picks that you've made. I mean, this isn't a sleeper, but Actually, no, I don't even believe that, so I'm not going to say it. It's not. I guess it's not really a sleeper anymore. But give me the Commanders. Give me the Commanders. Let's
that's a
put some
nice
pieces together. Yeah, let's put some pieces
I
together.
just don't want everybody
Um,
choosing them as their sleeper because then they're
Yeah.
not a sleeper. Then they're just the Texans.
if you I believe in the Niners resurgence. I think they could make a Super Bowl
Yeah.
again.
I think they're at a good price.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Texans, I wouldn't hate that.
Texans.
So,
Yeah, I wouldn't hate the Texans.
like this year.
I'd have to. They'd have to.
Good team.
Yeah, I don't know what they'd have to do to make. I believe in the Texans. I believe in the Texans.
I'm gonna go off the wall here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Cardinals.
Okay.
Oh,
And
that's spicy.
the only problem is, it was my biggest problem this year, as everyone in fantasy could see, was if Kyler Murray stays Kyler Murray. So maybe if they don't release a new Call of Duty, then you never know what could happen there.
I like if they get like Austin Gentry, or I always say his name terribly, but Denchi, yeah. I think they need a good solid running back there, and I think they could make some noise.
They
I like
need a
that.
defense too.
Yeah, they
Like
do
a whole
need-
ass defense.
Yeah, they do need a defense.
If you nail one draft, then all of a sudden things can change.
Yeah, and you got to look at one of those teams that has a quarterback that you could build around and hopefully stay cheap with. Which why I like the Vikings. If they can add a bunch of pieces on that cheap contract, then that would be very nice.
I would worry about their defense being a one-hit wonder. That's the only thing with the Vikings.
I wish the Seahawks had a better quarterback. I feel like the Seahawks would be a nice sleeper team if they didn't have Geno just sitting at the helm. What about the
I
Buccaneers?
think their peak is like divisional round.
Same. I can't see him winning a divisional round playoff game. What about Baker and the Bucks? They did the playoffs.
I think the same.
The ceiling's like divisional round.
Either.
Yeah, Todd Bowles is a tough playoff
coach. I
coach.
don't think he's a great head coach.
Agreed there. Rams seem like they just are going the opposite direction while we're talking about some of these.
They're just
NFC
shedding
teams.
Cup's salary.
Yeah, I know.
Won games without Cup doing much.
That's true.
Good.
Weird announcement to have this early though. Okay, we're gonna trade Cooper Kupp. It's like I don't see why. Did you see Matthew Stafford's wife got all pissed? She was like, "They're trying to win the Super Bowl." Yeah, I think so.
She has a podcast.
She does. Yeah, I think that's what it was on. Unless the AFC has like some drastic top heavy changes, though, Matt, I don't see why I'm not betting the Chiefs to make the Super Bowl.
I put mine because I don't watch any other sport, so I don't know anything about any other sport beyond what the lines tell me. So I just went in. I was hoping that they would let me like already pick like division winners.
Yeah,
but they didn't. So
no, that'll happen like right before the draft, I think.
Oh, really? Okay, damn. Wow. Because I was seeing all these people's bets where they put like $10 or $20 and picked like every division, and they're like,
I did that for baseball.
This team just needs to win, and I make like $180,000. I was like, no.
The issue with that is like you'll be like, oh, let me just take all the safe guys and like try to take all the safe bets, and then like the Panthers will win the NFC South, and be like, shit.
Yeah.
I have it's $5 to win 937.
It's all for baseball. Nice.
But yeah, no, I put my $40 worthy bet on the Chiefs to win next year. So I put Chiefs.
Roll it over.
Yeah, I got.
It's still the best bet in sports. I mean, they're going to make the Super Bowl within the next 6 years, 5 years. If you keep betting, you will make money on it eventually.
At least it's at least the championship game, right? Every year.
With Mahomes, yeah. They made it to the Super Bowl every year but one. So.
Yeah.
Until I start seeing some trust with these freaking AFC teams, then I'm not taking it.
They can beat them. They can't even make the playoffs.
And they can make the playoffs. Yeah, they can even make the playoffs.
I was shooting bricks because they're like the Chiefs lost that game on purpose because they don't want us there. I was like, I don't want them there, but they didn't lose on purpose. They're just resting.
It was the perfect move. You didn't want to see the Bengals.
Yeah.
Carson was trying.
Carson
Oh,
was
of course
trying.
he was. Like and again,
Another baller fit, by the way, for the Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys saw him walking in.
You see him
I
diss
didn't.
Right in front of
diss
my
Jalen
face.
Hurts at the end. Jalen Hurts daps up Mahomes, goes over to Wentz. Wentz just walks right past him.
damn.
He's the best.
Yeah, Wentz is now. I guess he's not. Oh, he's not 2-0, but he's 2-0 for Eagles Super Bowls. That's the backup
Bro.
quarterback.
He's Eagles quarterbacks where he's not, or Eagles Super Bowls where he's not a starter.
Yep, he is there 2-0.
Such a
That's I think it's hilarious to parallel because the Carson Wentz stat where the Eagles are 2-0 with him as a backup, and then the Mahomes stat where Mahomes can't seem to win a playoff game if Tom Brady's involved.
Oh yeah, that's
And honestly, if Joe Montana's calling the Brady Super Bowls, I'd probably be pissing down my legs. I'd be like, this guy's never gonna beat Joe Montana. He's just gonna this guy's harping on him every time.
That's why Brady was so up in arms about that penalty on AJ Brown because he didn't want
pissed.
Mahomes to win. Like, oh come on,
Whoa!
that's
Do
some
it!
bullshit. Mike's on. He's like, oh,
in a game like this.
Yeah, no, that's what he said, right? Oh, I don't like that in a game like this. It's like,
Yeah.
shut up, give me a break. Hands it to his face. I don't think I'm so much better. Can I take off some teams now, Matt? I know that's not the question, but can I take off some teams?
oh yeah.
All right, we're taking off the Dolphins. And these are teams that some people will probably pick. The Dolphins were taken out, the Steelers were taken out, Jaguars were taken out, Cowboys out of here, Seahawks out of here,
Titans,
Packers out of here.
Packers out of there, really?
Packers out of here. Get them out of here. I am so out on the Packers. Get them out of here.
We're destined to battle about the Packers, I think. Because I like the Packers every year.
Yeah, I know we are destined to do it. Yeah, dude, they always screw me, man. I'm never on the right side of a Packers bet. Ever. And I guess the other NFL news, Kellen Moore to the Saints. That's all I got.
That's it. Yeah, that's where coaching career is going to die.
Hey, him and Rattler, man. Him and Rattler.
$50 million in cap space.
Oh, Derek Carr's got to get out of there. Rattler needs to be the best starting quarterback.
They need 3 years to just recover from their cap situation. Not even to build a roster.
Yeah, it's like a new kid. It's like the new kid of Saints, and they're all still radioactive. Yeah, exactly. They're all still radioactive. You really can't touch them yet. They somehow won 5 games. I guess it's not that many, but somehow won 5 games. Now we're just talking in circles. Thank you all for listening. Matt, thank you for being here in your time of sadness.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan for
for setting this up. Agent, he's starting his agent career already.
Papa.
Yeah, Agent Papa. Thank you, Agent Papa, for getting Matt on. Thanks, Chris, of course, and we'll see everyone. Yeah, see everyone on Friday.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll have another special guest. I forgot. We'll have AB on Friday.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this will be